Good morning, y'all. I wanted to show you something that I had started thinking about doing the other day. I seen a video of a lady that was doing it, making paper. So here is some paper, just little sheets of paper that I have shredded up and made into my own paper that I can use in journaling cards or cards that I make, or just little sheets. These can also be made into, you can place seedlings in them and use them to plant different things in. I just wouldn't use the color in here. In this I put some purple, I can't even remember, this is not the color, this is what I'm going to use today, but just any kind of acrylic paint, the color that you want, and then glitter in here. I don't know if you can see the little sparkles in there. There is some white extra fine glitter in there, and then some people have put just like dried flowers. These that I did here, I have a little bag of lavender that I put in there, and they have all different kinds, but these they're 2 5x7 frames that I have taken out the glass and the backing and pulled out those little tabs. These frames I just got from Dollar Tree, and then you take some netting, or some have used screen, whatever you have that will drain that, and then I don't know if you can see, I have stapled the netting to this frame. And at first I didn't know if the staples would hold in this frame since it's from Dollar Tree, but it has, and you can see I've used it. This is what I used yesterday. But then you'll want 2 ponytail holders and some scraps of material that you want to lay it on to dry, and just some towels and a sponge. And then you can, whatever kind of container that you want, because you're going to have to dip your frame in, but I just got this old styrofoam ice chest. And so how you'll want to do this, after you've stapled that in there, you want to take your 2 ponytail holders, and you'll want this to be facing this way, and then you'll want the top of the frame on this. Does that make sense? And then you're going to take your 2 ponytail holders and put them around the edges like this. And then once that's all ready, you'll want to go over, and I have just shredded up old junk mail that I have got, and put it through my shredder, and then soaked it overnight, and then put it in a blender and blended it the next morning. Some say 4 hours, but I do it overnight or even longer. Let that paper soak up that water as much as you can, and then you blend it, and then you put it, I don't know if you can see, but that's full of water and paper, and it's been soaking overnight. Excuse me. So I will blend this, but I'll turn the video on so it won't be so loud, and I'll be back when I get this all blended. And then it gets all blended up, and you can kind of see what the consistency that you want in it, because we'll water this down some. So let me scoot this back. Then you'll want to add whatever color of paint you want in it. I'm just going to squirt some in here. And then I'll blend it again. And then you pour your mixture into here with some water. And it's pretty watered down, but you'll get used to the content of how you want it. And now if you want to add the glitter or petals or whatever, now is the time to add them. So then you're going to take your screen that you have put together, and you're going to keep the screen side, which is the one that's stapled, down. And you're going to want to stir this up. And you're just going to kind of go down in there and stir it up and to get some. And then just kind of let it drain itself off. I kind of push these off. And it takes about 30 seconds to a minute to get all that where it's dripped off good. And then we'll put it onto the towels. I have several towels on top of each other. And then you'll get another towel. And I put a piece of fabric because that way you can have it. And then I just take it and kind of soak up some of that water. And then you'll take your sponge and just kind of push it. And then you'll take the rubber band off and gently lift that up. And there's your paper. So then after that, I take it and I flip it over. Then I take the towel again. I kind of push it into that piece of material that's underneath it, and then soak up some more with your sponge, and then just kind of gently pull it apart, and there is your first piece of paper. And I know it's hard to really see with this fabric. Let me do another one where see if it'll stand out more. Okay, here's one I did. You can kind of see that it turned out more. You can see. And then what you'll want to do is take this over here. And here's the first one that we made. And then you'll want to put those, and then you'll keep stacking them up. And then when you have done everything in the ice chest, you'll want to take them outside and just lay them out and let the sun let it dry. Another thing I want to point out is when you're putting your towel over it to drain, be sure and sop it up, but make sure your towel doesn't have any wrinkles or anything in it. And when this sponge gets sopped up as much as it can, be sure and wring it out back into your paper water, and then pull this back, and then just gently pull that up. And you also want to make sure that your material scrap that you put it on is flat with no wrinkles too, because then your paper will get wrinkles. But you can kind of smooth this out. Or if you like that texture, you can leave it in there, but just make sure you don't have any wrinkles in that material. Okay, so I brought everything outside. It's kind of hard to see with the sun beating down like that, but I just laid it out on one of the steps on my porch. And it's supposed to be hot here in Oklahoma today, so by this evening these should be dried. My son, I showed this to him, and he said he's going to take his daughter, since they're all quarantined in, and plant some seeds. They bought a bunch of seeds the other day to make a garden, and he said he's going to take her, and they're going to do this for a project to plant in the ground. And I thought that would be good, so I just wanted to show this. I'll come back and show y'all this evening the final product of what it looks like when it's all dried up. Okay, y'all stay safe. I'll talk to y'all in a little while. Okay, here is the dried paper that we made earlier today. I just went outside and this is what we got. Just all different kinds of sheets. And you could see the roses, dried roses, they kind of stained it a little bit. And the same on the back, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me. Let me see if I can get in here and you can see the glitter. See it sparkle a little bit. And then those little pink specks is the paint that didn't fully dissolve, but I think that gives it character. I really like that. And you can see the texture. If I would have sponged this off and used a drier towel, a smoother towel, you wouldn't have all that texture in here. And one thing, you really want to make sure that you keep your towels flat when they're drying, because the wind blew this one up, and so it's gonna got a ripple in there. But I think I can, because it's still got a little bit of moisture in there. I think when I'm done with this, I'm gonna stick a big heavy book or brick or something on top of it and kind of flatten them out until they fully dry. So there's the pink batch that I made today, and it looks almost lavender, but here is the lavender, so you can see the two together. And this is, it's a lavender in true color, but it's almost looks like a baby blue on here. And then this is another batch that I made. This is the very first batch I used, and instead of the picture frames, on this one I used a embroidery hoop, and I really didn't like the outcome because it is, and I know it's going to be hard to see, but it is very thick compared to how paper thin these are. And I will use them. These have a lot more glitter in there, but I just didn't like the outcome of these better. So there you go. I hope y'all enjoy it. Y'all stay safe.